This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you've had that sound from Babbel before, I bet you do. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. With quick 10-minute lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. With over 16 million subscriptions sold and a 20-day money-back guarantee, just start speaking another language with Babbel. Right now, up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/Spotify podcast. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify podcast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
On the line right now is the longest-serving police commissioner in the history of the NYPD, Ray Kelly. Ray, welcome. We've got 4 in the house. We got Chad Lopez, John Catsimatidis. We've got Bert, and yours truly, Curtis Sliwa. A Merry Christmas, Ray.
Merry Christmas. Great to be with you. That's a first-class team. No question about it.
We all work for a living, even though it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, right.
And we all go to your barber, Andy and Evangelista, who's a great barber, like you're a great American and a great world citizen.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice.
All right, now, Ray, the number one story, bar none, it's gone international, is the illegal alien who set on fire this woman in the train, the F train, at 7:30 in the morning on Sunday. Just a correction, people are receiving a photograph of a woman identified as Amelia Carter, age 29, PhD class, University of Pennsylvania. That's bogus. That's artificial intelligence.
Are we sure it's bogus?
It's bogus. Nancy broke it down, my wife, because it had a tagline, Biden is responsible.
Well, let's find out what Commissioner Kelly knows.
I don't know anything about her identity.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I was looking for that. But it's just a horrendous crime, and it underscores two things to me. It underscores the terrible crisis that we have with migrants in our city, perhaps as many as 200,000. And that, if you remember, Mayor Eric Adams greeted them when they got off the bus. And we can do it here. We can do it. And then, of course, it's a problem.
Got a hot coffee for you right here.
It's a problem of people who are mentally deranged who are on the streets in great numbers. The mayor kept saying that we're going to do something. We're going to do something with Albany, get these people off the streets. Nothing has been done. So, if you, and particularly in Midtown Manhattan, where I spent some time, you see a lot of these people. I don't see them decreasing in number. I understand it's a complex problem. I understand there's not enough institutional beds, but this is a long-standing problem that has to be taken on directly. And so far, I don't see it. So we're in that. Just remember, 2 weeks ago, we had the individual who stabbed and killed 3 people in Midtown Manhattan. Cops are constantly coming up against people with significant mental issues. Society, and particularly New York City, needs to do a much better job of addressing this problem.
Ray Kelly, you were commissioner for 12 years, and from memory, in the old days, how many people were in mental institutions, and what do you think they're down to now, and what happened to those people that were in mental institutions? They didn't get well.
What they do is they give them some sort of drugs, and send them on their way. And what happens is people don't take the drugs, they lose the drugs, they sell the drugs. So it's very inconsistent. You remember, in the old days, as you say, John, that we had institutions that housed these people. We had Creedmoor out in Long Island. We need something like that where these people can go. This was considered so inhumane to do this. But there are
it's inhumane. Then we're not taking care of these people. I understand from memory, and my memory is getting worse and worse. and that originally we had like 20,000, 25,000 people in mental institutions, and we're down to 3 or 4. Are the rest of them homeless in the streets or just running around?
Some are, yeah. And that's it. I mean, there's a small number of people that are being, as you say, being held in institutions. But the vast majority of, it's a much bigger universe than what people being held in these places. So what do they do?
Police Commissioner Ray Kelly, let's take it back to when they took $1 billion out of the police budget. De Blasio and the city council, they celebrated it. What people don't realize, not only did they take $1 billion out, they disbanded your New York City Police Department Homeless Outreach Unit. These were men and women who knew these homeless people, who went in and out of the shelters, would bring them for psychiatric observation. There was a kinship. There was a relationship that no longer exists because average, everyday cops don't know these people, and nothing gets done. They disbanded the Homeless Outreach Unit, which you had for many, many years, that dealt with these problems.
Yeah, it was inexplicable, quite frankly, but it's like, hey, somebody else did this, we're not going to do it. That mentality, and I think it's sorely needed. And cops knew their stuff, and they were offering people alternative. They were pretty skilled at doing this. They built up this rapport with a lot of the homeless people, and it seemed to work. We still had homeless people on the streets, but we didn't have them
Ray, I saw them. They had rapport. They knew them on a first-name basis. We didn't have those problems. Now, as police commissioner for 12 years, what would you do
14,
about...
actually.
14. Wow.
My mistake. We have chaos in the leadership at One Police Plaza. Jeffrey Maddrey has exited. Before that, we had Eddie Caban and his Caban family exited. We had Phil Banks exited, Deputy Mayor of Public Safety. Massive chaos. What has to be done because there is a failure of leadership in the police department?
Well, certainly the police department seems to be in chaos. And the real question now is, can Jessica Tisch turn the ship around? I believe she can. She worked directly for me. I've always been impressed with her. She ran 2 big city agencies here and did a very good job. She is no shrinking violet. She's a pretty tough cookie, and the executive corps is going to find that out if they haven't already. So leadership is so important in everything, and I think this was the right move to have her become a commissioner. There are lots of good people in the department, and I think she's in the process of identifying a lot of them. She knows that.
Commissioner, how do you keep the mayor from meddling with the police department? He's meddled every step of the way. He fancies himself as the police commissioner. Let's be honest.
You're absolutely right. Do you know that when he ran in the primary, he asked every one of his competitors if he could be their police commissioner if he didn't win and they won. So he wanted that job all along, and he does meddle. And he doesn't know anything about the department or what goes on there. Just because you're a cop, or just because you worked as a computer programmer in the transit police, doesn't mean that you know strategy, tactics, personnel issues, budget issues. It's a big job. It has 54,000 people, people even overseas. So it takes I think a very good manager to run that, and I believe Jessica Tisch is that manager. I think we'll see a difference soon.
Commissioner, I don't think people realize that the 14th floor, the position of leadership in the police department, has now been raided twice by federal officials, the IRS, and just yesterday, DA Bragg's detectives. A police department leadership, 14th floor, has been raided twice where they've taken out all the computers and all the cell phones. That is unheard of.
Yes, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And we've got to turn it around. As I say, there's a lot of good people. I think her leadership will be instrumental in doing that in a very, very significant way. You know, the older I get, the more I believe that in sort of the great person theory, you know, that one person can make a big difference, and I believe we'll see that pretty soon.
Lastly,
I can tell you, people calling me, former members of the department, saying they don't want people to know they were in the police department. That's how embarrassing the alumni see this as being. And obviously, people who are in the department are embarrassed as well. You know, it's a great institution, and it has some ups and downs because it's run by human beings. You know, we've had corruption scandals and that sort of thing, but the department comes back and generally does a very good job. You got to get it back on the seat. I have a problem with police officers still leaving the department in big numbers. They want out. I mean, you don't really know why. And one of the things I have suggested is that a company like McKinsey come in and do exit interviews and find out. Well, I don't want a law enforcement outfit to do it. I want a reputable business consultant to do it. Let's get some specific information and let's try to address some of those issues. We know that the city council is one of the reasons that the cops leave, because of the silly regulations and rules and just attempts to tie the hands of cops so they do nothing. That's what a lot of them want. They don't want a police department. They don't want order.
Well, do appreciate it, Police Commissioner Kelly. 14 years, longest-serving police commissioner. You've seen it all, from busting your shoes out in the streets as a cop, getting your law degree at night, and then moving up the ranks and becoming the most respected police commissioner in the history of the department. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas again, Ray.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to all. Thank you.
This time of year, a good hoodie is absolutely essential. But it's tough to find one that will last through the season. That's why the American Giant Classic Full Zip Hoodie is made to last a lifetime. So you can count on it to bring you comfort and warmth year after year. Slate Magazine called it the greatest hoodie ever made. And from cotton to zipper, it's made right here in the USA. With timeless style, heavyweight fleece, a double-lined hood, and reinforced elbow patches, you can depend on it for years to come. Snag the hoodie that will bring you comfort for life, the American Giant Classic Full Zip, and save 20% off your first order at american-giant.com when you use code CLASSIC24 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com, code CLASSIC24.